Welcome to Notebook Check, where we take a first look at the Acer Aspire VX15 series gaming laptop. The model we tested was a pre-sample of the VX5 591G. It's a gaming laptop positioned below the popular Predator series, and it features the newest technology from Intel in form of a Kaby Lake mobile quad-core processor and the brand new Pascal-based GeForce GTX 1050 Ti from NVIDIA. We could get our hands on an early sample, including a Core i7 7700HQ and the TN screen. The final products should be shipped with a better IPS display, therefore we did not measure and rate the screen in our sample. The Acer Aspire VX5 starts well below 1000 euros. It uses a plastic chassis and we cannot find any issues in terms of design and haptics. The matte surfaces are nice to touch, and we cannot notice stability problems or creaking sounds when we handle it. There were no obvious build quality issues on the pre-production unit either. You will, however, have to wave metal on the Acer Aspire VX15, but that's not a real drawback. Acer uses a completely matte black chassis with red accents, not unlike the GL series from Asus. The red accents are two decorative stripes on the lid and the red fan exhaust at the rear, as well as some red surroundings of the touchpad and red key illumination. The Acer Aspire is average within the 15.6-inch gaming segment in terms of weight, 2.6 kilograms, and height, 32 millimeters. High-end devices like the Acer Predator 15, for example, are noticeably thicker and heavier, but there are also gaming systems with very thin chassis constructions, like for example the MSI GS63 series. Regarding connectivity, the Acer Aspire VX15 offers almost all important ports. We get two USB 3.0, HDMI, Ethernet, as well as a new Type-C port. The latter does not offer any additional features, so it's USB 3.0 speed and no DisplayPort or power. We like the layout. All ports are located towards the back of the sides, so it works for right and left-hand users. The card reader is also easy to access at the left side. Maintenance is also a strong suit of the device. If you're not afraid of using a screwdriver and perhaps a sharp object, you can get off the bottom panel very easily and gain access to the memory slots, as well as the M.2 slot and the hard drive. The battery is replaceable as well, and the two fans can be easily cleaned. The chiclet keyboard has a well-defined pressure point in combination with an average treble. You cannot really dent the input even with a lot of pressure, and it is also a very quiet keyboard. There is a dedicated numeric keypad, and the gaming keys WASD are marked in red. The touchpad, with dimensions of around 10.5 to 7.8 centimeters, provides very good gliding capabilities, but it is a clickpad without dedicated buttons. The area that provides a mechanical click are generously sized, and both the resistance as well as the tactile and audible feedback is good. Typical multi-touch gestures like two-finger scrolling on websites or zooming were no problem either. New device, new hardware. The Acer Aspire is equipped with the latest processor technology from Intel, the Intel i7 7700HQ, and from NVIDIA the GeForce GTX 1050 Ti. Besides these core components, our test model was equipped with a single-channel 16GB DDR4 RAM and a dual storage solution consisting of a 512GB SSD and a 1TB hard drive. Our initial benchmarks with the 7700HQ CPU show that the performance advantage over the previous generation, the i7 6700 Skylake, is rather small and only a couple of percent. GPU performance is much more interesting. As a successor to the 965M, the 1050 Ti bridges the gap between multimedia and gaming systems. Thanks to the performance increase of the Pascal architecture, the 1050 Ti is on par with a GTX 970M of a previous generation. That means you can use it for full HD gaming at high to ultra settings. In our gaming tests, for example, the laptop was able to run Witcher 3, Fallout 4, Battlefield 1 or Titanfall 2 in maximum detail settings fluently. Our pre-production sample was also surprisingly quiet in all scenarios we ran them. A silent operation is possible when idling and also with light workloads like web browsing. Under CPU and GPU load, for example games or stress test, the fans will slowly increase the fan speed and you get a not unpleasant deep frequency noise that can be tolerated as a background noise. Due to the relatively small 52 Wh battery, the battery runtime is not that impressive, but also not bad. We got around 6 hours running our Wi-Fi script at 150 nits brightness, which is quite good for an average gaming laptop. Verdict. Our first impression of the new Acer Aspire VX5 591G is very promising. Despite its low entry-level price, under 1000 euros, the notebook offers a well-built and solid chassis and an appealing design. You get all essential ports with a good layout. We also like the easy access to the components. The performance of our test unit with the GTX 1050 Ti and the fast quad-core Kaby Lake CPU was quite good, and the majority of games run smoothly at Full HD and maximum graphics settings. Whether the Acer Aspire VX15 series will be successful may depend on a few things, like the quality of the used display. We are looking forward to testing the retail Full HD IPS panel, and of course the pricing. Check out the full review at notebookcheck.net of the Acer Aspire gaming laptop, and stay tuned for more reviews from Notebook Check for laptops, tablets and smartphones.